I just want to say very publicly what a pleasure it's been to work with you in the short time that you've served as our commissioner. And, your direct and forthright approach, I know, is going to make a difference in the leadership at State Ed and hopefully in the support that we can give you here in the legislature. And I want to really endorse the priorities that you put forward today and hopefully that we can deliver on some of the things that you've asked for. I do want to ask just briefly, though, if you could elaborate a little bit more about community schools. One of the things I struggle with as chair of this committee is education jargon. So we have renewal schools, community schools, struggling schools. We did put $75 million, and the governor has certainly initiated another $100 million this year. Even I am not quite clear as to what the differences are or the overlap. So maybe you can just take us through that. And I know a lot of our colleagues have asked me to ask you what's happened with the $75 million from last year. Is it out the door? Is it in the schools? We had a hearing, as you know, on this topic just a few weeks after you started, and we appreciated then your willingness to talk about it, but perhaps you can update everyone as to what's happening in that issue area.
Yes, thank you. So the funding that came from you last year, and thank you very much, we appreciate that. I know that the schools across the state, those schools that received the funding who were persistently struggling, those schools have received their funding, and they've moved forward, and many of them in areas that you represent are making substantial differences and changes in what's occurring in those schools to support kids. And relative to the community school concept, in fact, a number of the schools that received funding in this past round this year were in fact implementing community schools. As you're well aware, the law calls for an involvement of the community in the development of what will be the key factors that bring change. A community school offers wraparound services for parents and for children and for siblings of children in the schools to support them. It can range from anything from medical services to psychological services to emotional supports, to after-school activities, to expansion of the programming from the regular day into the after-school time, and also provide opportunities that the children in these communities might not have. So some of those things that would be important for children, the expansion of art programs, the expansion of athletic programs after school. So a community school really supports the community that school is located in and the children and the families that attend it. As I said, many of the schools that we have that were persistently struggling or struggling have already begun those efforts. And we're seeing that the communities are responding to them. And I would say that New York, in my experience, is very committed to have community support, that is not-for-profits and actual community groups within our cities and our towns supporting those community schools as they develop. So it's a great idea. We have several that have already started, and we need to work through how that legislation, if we move forward with additional funding, how we would identify that that would go to schools.
Thank you. I know there's a lot of other people who want to ask, and I do get the chance to talk to you pretty regularly. So I just want to say again, I wish you well. It was terrific testimony, and we're looking forward to a good discussion today.
Thank you very much.